Hi everybody, how are you doing today? Hope everyone is well. Wish we could discuss this in class and use the tiles on the table. Some of you may have done this, but I'm going to review it again because there's some questions on mitosis and meiosis, and I want to go back and I want to start with how DNA bonds and what it looks like when it replicates and how it separates and kind of goes through a process of mitosis and meiosis. Okay? So remember our background. There are 4 bases in DNA. There is adenine, guanine, cytosine, adenine, and thymine. Those are your 4 bases, okay? And there are only 2 ways for DNA to bond. G bonds to C, no matter if it's this way, GC, or if it's C to G, it doesn't matter. A and T bond together. It could also be TA. The point is it only bonds in the center. That's the only open bonding site. Okay? So the way that DNA lines up from top to bottom, let me show you, is the way that determines your traits. Those are what we call genes. Okay? So let's see, I can have a collection of them that say A, T, C, 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 G, T, 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 T. And maybe that codes for brown eyes. However, if I have a different set of codes, so if I take some of these out and I make them something different, like, I don't know, I don't remember what's there, T, 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 A. Then maybe that one codes for green eyes now. So the idea of the top to bottom means that the exact order determines there are millions of combinations, billions of combinations, and that's the basis of DNA testing, right? If you can figure out how these are and they match up, then that's great. And if you can't, then that's okay too. If they don't match, they don't match. It's like the idea of paternity tests or anything else, okay? So the order your DNA lines up from top to bottom determines who you are. Let's take a quick look at that, okay? We get 23 pairs of chromosomes total. So if you hear 23 and 46, you should hear 23 pairs. If you hear only 23, then it has to be a gamete. Okay, 23 pairs is a full cell. So this 46 would make a full cell, and these 23 would be gametes. Okay, so only gametes have less DNA. And they only bond on the sides. There's no open bonding sites anywhere else. If you think back to your carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins activity where we built the molecules, okay, there were only certain places certain things had to touch. They had to be in certain shapes, like especially the triglyceride had to look like a capital E because of where the bonding sites were. So this is similar to a puzzle that you had as a child, where you had the math puzzle. If you're looking down in this area here, right, you had 2-piece puzzle, but you had like 20 pieces. You could put them, so I can take this 1 picture and move it to the 1, and I can take the 2 picture and move it to the 2, but I would never have been able to put the 2 with the 1. It wouldn't have fit. So when you were a kid, you remember that these didn't bond. They didn't bond from top to bottom. They only bonded from side to side. And how you ordered them was how you counted. Okay, some of you might still have these puzzles. You have younger brothers and sisters. But that's how DNA works. It hooks on the sides, and it only matches to one other piece. So G and C and A and T. Let's practice with it a little bit, okay? I'm going to choose some of these bases. I've created the A's, the G's, the C's, and the T's. We're going to cross our fingers and hope that they work. So let's pick some. Let's pick a couple of these, another one of these. Doesn't matter what you pick. Okay. Okay, so you can bond these on the sides only. So if G and C go together, I'm going to take a C from here and I'm going to put it with G. Okay? Then I'm going to take a G and bond it with my C. And another G and bond it with C. And I'll take this floating A and this floating A. And then the last one I need is a C. Okay, now in here, there are bonds. So they're bonded between. So now what you have, this is a double strand. Of DNA, which you saw called, hold on, which in all the videos we were watching, they called 2N, because there are two sets of DNA, okay? So this would be a typical cell. This would be your somatic cells, which are every cell except what? Except the gametes, okay? So, now that you see that, what starts to happen when you start to go through the processes of mitosis and meiosis are that these bonds in the center here, they break off. Okay? And that means that these single strands of DNA are free to bond again. So what happens is that they will, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, but we're going to give it a try. They will move. Why can't I move this one? Yikes. We'll give that a try later. That one doesn't want to move, so we're going to leave it. I wonder why. Oh, there we go. Okay, that means that there's more space. And so what's going to happen is you're going to get a C over here, and you're going to get a G, and a G. I'm going to try to make these right. You're going to get a C over here, and you're going to get an A, and an A. And then over here, you're going to get a G, and a C, and a C, a T, and a T, and that last G. So the line's not perfect, but if you look at this, you have now two exact copies of the DNA. The DNA has just replicated. So this is the end of interphase, and the cells are ready to go through those phases of mitosis or meiosis 1, PMAT, right? So PMAT stands for prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. Right before they go through cytokinesis. Okay, and that's fantastic, and that works really, really well. This happens first. And so at this point, this would be a gene because it's one little section of the DNA. Okay? Once you have that, when you start to go through the prophase and the metaphase and the anaphase and the telophase, you take these and you wrap them up and you stretch them out and you push them to the equator and you separate them. But the main idea that you need to take away is that there is actual DNA making copies of itself to go into each cell. So each and every cell has an exact copy. Okay? This page is going to be a summary of what we just did. We now know how it comes together. We know how does it work. Okay? We start with a double strand. We separate the strands down the middle so they have somewhere to bond. And as it goes through interphase, it breaks those bonds. and uses some extra nucleotides that are found floating in the cytoplasm to build 2 new strands. And the cell finishes with the phases of mitosis, and mitosis is done. If we were to continue on that last page and separate those double strands one more time, then that would be the meiosis 2, and you would create 4 cells with single strands of DNA. Okay, that's the important stuff that you need to take away from mitosis and meiosis. Knowing the phases is good. Knowing exactly what they do, maybe not so much. Know that by the end, in mitosis, you get one parent cell divides into 2 daughter cells, and they all have double-stranded DNA. They are 2N or diploid. Also know that at the end of meiosis, you end up from one cell, you get 4 cells, and they are all 1N or what we call haploid because they have half of the DNA. Okay, I'm going to create another one of these very soon. This is taking me days to get those graphics right. So give me a little bit of a chance. I'm going to put up a couple of questions on a slide to go with this. Okay, and you can answer those questions and turn that in for your work today. Have a great day.